You are watching Average Joe Video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the brakes on the driver's side of a Club Car Precedent. This video would also apply to the Club Car Tempo as well. If you need any help jacking up the cart or prepping for this process, I recommend that you watch part 1 of this video series. As we begin, this is a great time to consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. Now I'm going to remove the lug nuts on the driver's side rear wheel, and I'm going to remove the wheel entirely. Make sure you keep track of the lug nuts. It's easy to lose these, especially with all the parts that we're going to have laying around. I like to place the lug nuts on the floorboard of the cart. That way I know they're not going anywhere. Now that the wheel is removed, we can go ahead and remove the drum. You may have to wiggle back and forth, and you should be able to slide the drum off. It is entirely possible that the drum is harder to remove than what you see in the video. So if that's the case, you can use a rubber mallet and tap on the drum and it should loosen up so that you can slide it off. Now that the drum is removed, you can see the entire assembly. Pay very close attention to the orientation of the brake shoes. Keep in mind that the 17L brake shoe should always face the rear of the cart. On the driver's side, you can actually read the stamp that says 17L. On the passenger side, even though the 17L shoe is located at the rear, you will not be able to read the 17L stamp. Now we can remove the retaining pin and clip. Simply take a flathead screwdriver and push in on the clip, and then use a pair of needle nose pliers to turn the pin so that the flat end is vertical. Once the retaining pins and clips are removed from both sides, you can actually use a pair of needle nose pliers to remove the bottom spring holding the brake shoes in place. After the bottom spring is removed, you should be able to pull the shoes apart, and in this case, the top spring actually fell off. This did not go exactly as planned. For some reason, I had things falling apart and I also had the spring hanging up for a second time. But generally speaking, it's a pretty simple process. Now I am using some non-chlorinated brake clean made by CRC to simply clean the backing plate and to try to clean the hub as much as possible. Just make sure that you're really cleaning everything down well, because that's going to be the secret to putting everything back together and having it work the way that it should. I should also mention that I am using a half-size aluminum steam pan to catch the brake clean and to catch all of the particles and residue that are coming off of the brake assembly. These pans are great for the garage, so if you don't currently use them, I highly recommend it. It saves a lot of hassle, and the great part is when you're all done, you can simply throw it in the trash. Once I clean the top of the assembly, I'm going to then clean the brake adjuster and the slide. That's why if you notice I'm spraying at the lower portion, just take your time and make sure you give everything a thorough cleaning. Next, I'm removing the brake adjuster as well as the slide. I did clean these further off camera, but as it turns out, when I went to purchase the parts, it was cheaper to buy the entire cluster. So I ended up not actually using these parts, but I did clean them up and I'm going to save them just as spares. Now that everything is clean, I'm going to install the new components. As I mentioned, I purchased an entire cluster. It was cheaper and I simply took the parts off that I needed. Make sure that the brake adjuster actually has 2 washers on it. One of them is a red washer and the other one is just the silver color. Now I am installing the slide mechanism. Make sure that it is lubricated with a dry moly lubricant. Since this is from a new brake cluster, I could already feel the lubricant on there. But in case you're wondering, this is the lubricant that you should be using. Next, using a small brush, we are going to apply DuPont Molykote BR2+. Now this is the grease that is called for. Notice that I'm using a small brush here to essentially paint that on to what is referred to as the brake bosses. So those are the raised bosses that you see. There are 3 raised bosses on each side for a total of 6. And I am essentially putting a very thin layer of this grease on there. The brush that I'm using is actually a plumbing brush. This is actually designed to spread flux on copper pipe for soldering. So you can get these really cheap. I bought a whole bunch of these at Supply House that I actually use for plumbing purposes. But if you're wondering, that's what kind of brush I'm using. Now I'm simply applying grease to the two slots at the top. And then I'm going to apply grease to the brake adjuster, which is what I'm doing now. And next I'm going to apply grease to the top and bottom of each of the brake shoes. Be careful when applying grease to the brake shoes that you are not getting any grease on the actual braking surface. So just be very careful with that. At this point, I'm ready to connect both shoes with the top spring. Then I'm simply going to stretch the shoes apart, and that way the top of each shoe will rest in the slots at the top of the backing plate. Once they are in place, it's okay if they flip forward a little bit. They should not go anywhere. Make sure that the shoe on the left is seated into the brake adjuster properly. The adjuster has a slot, and that slot should be vertical. Now you can see that I'm going to go ahead and install the retainer pin and clip on the left-hand side. I'm going to repeat the process on the right-hand side. It's important that both retainer pins and clips are installed prior to installing the bottom spring. As you can see, I'm using a flathead screwdriver to push down on the clip, and then I'm using needle nose pliers to rotate the pin so that the flat end is now horizontal instead of vertical. Now it's time to install the bottom spring. You want to make sure that you install, in this case, the left-hand hook on the spring first. Once the hook on the left is installed, you can simply use a pair of needle nose pliers or small vice grips to hook the right-hand side of the spring into the brake shoe. Now it's time to install the new brake drum. In this case, I'm using a genuine Club Car part. First, I'm going to clean the new brake drum. Now I'm putting it on the hub for the purpose of cleaning, and that also just verifies that the hub is actually in alignment and nothing is bent. Once I've sprayed it down thoroughly, I'm going to use a blue Scott shop towel to wipe the inside of the drum. This is a very important step because drums often contain oil from the manufacturing process. So make sure that you wipe it thoroughly. The last thing you want is a new drum to be installed with oil on the surface. Before we place the drum on the brake assembly, it's important that we move the auto adjuster. Notice that I'm using two screwdrivers. In order to move the auto adjuster, you will need to use a screwdriver to raise the adjustment arm. Then you can use another screwdriver to adjust the wheel itself. After you turn the adjustment wheel a few rotations, go ahead and install the drum on the assembly. This is a process that takes a little bit of time because you may need to take the drum back off and readjust it. The goal is to get the drum to fit snugly, but if you adjust it too far, the drum will not fit at all. You'll also notice that I'm adjusting the wheel and it seems as though the adjustment arm is stuck in the up position. I do actually fix that off camera. That's why you don't see a second screwdriver involved in this process. But after multiple attempts, I finally get the fit for the drum that I'm looking for. It fits snugly, but it still is able to be turned. Now it's time to reinstall the driver's side rear wheel. I'm going to do that by simply placing the wheel on the lugs. Once the wheel is on the lugs, I like to start the lug nuts by hand to avoid cross-threading with the impact gun. So I'm going to go ahead and spin all 4 lug nuts on by hand, and then I'm going to use the impact gun to tighten everything up. Once the driver's side rear wheel is installed, this completes the process. It's time to lower the cart, place it in the run position, and test out the brakes. When testing the brakes, be sure that you have an open area and start out slowly. I recommend applying the brakes approximately 20 times to burnish the brand new brake shoes. This will seat everything well and your brakes should be working perfectly. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching.